Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Donna D, aka the Urban Mommy, and I am back with another podcast. Today, I have another Urban Read Spotlight. That means I am spotlighting an author. And today, I have Mr. Gumbo, and he is from the same place I'm from, and that's New Orleans. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, can you start off by introducing yourself? Now, I have a lot of listeners that's not from New Orleans, so just like you do in your book, you're gonna have to explain some stuff sometimes. So, tell them who you are outside of being an author. Who are you?
Outside of an author, I'm a father, um, entrepreneur, um, as well as a person that seeks to represent myself through my character and influence people in ways that's not just, to tell them what to do, but to show them how to do it. And when I wrote this book, that was one of my ways to influence people in a positive way.
Okay, I like that. So, what part of New Orleans are you from?
I'm from the Seven Ward.
The Blade?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, and they're going to learn about that when they read the book. So, you're from the Seven Ward. So, a lot of the Seven Ward is in you, and that helps you, that inspired you to write the book?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, the whole city. Like, I want to recreate a whole. After the storm, it kind of like destroyed the city in itself. So I want to recreate the city in a way where people could go into the book and relive the original New Orleans. I'm saying, and really just get that vibe. So I want to recreate that vibe, like, and when you read it, honestly, once you get into it, you can't get out. And I'm not just saying it because I wrote it. I'm saying it because I wrote it from the heart. I didn't write it from just to write it and making up fairy tales. It's real life in the book.
Definitely is. So, when you were growing up, did you ever think that you would become an author?
Never, never. Like, coming from the streets of New Orleans, it's like, you kind of condemn in a way because, it's either the streets or sports or it's, what I'm saying, it's just limited options. So, when I discovered my talent to write, I just took off with it because it was something like finding a jewel. Like, once you find a jewel, it's like you got to capitalize off it.
Right? You got to roll with it. So, when you started writing your book, how long did it take you to finish it?
But it actually took me a year on this first book. It took me a year because I wanted to make sure everything was on point. Like I didn't want to just rush it. Yeah, but it actually took me a year to write it. But this book actually is a series. It's a 3-book series. So I mean, I'm giving you the flavor of everything. Like Mardi Gras, the storm, uh, every aspect of New Orleans, man. The book embodies. I'm not leaving nothing unturned in this book.
Okay. All right. So, how do you come up with your characters? Are they like people that's around you, or
Good question. I mean, with a character, you might have a character, right, that embodies many different personalities, or you may have a character uh, that's inspired from somebody you know. Um, Dealing with character creation, it gets you get creative with it because, like I said, it's a real living person, and you could put all kind of different personalities into this character. You don't have to just have one personality. It could have many different personalities. So, dealing with the character creation I get creative, and you see all kind of aspects of New Orleans. Any kind of character that you ever dealt with from the city, like now I put it in the souls of my characters.
okay? So, with that being said, what who is your favorite character in the book?
Well, I gotta be biased. T Lee probably one of my favorite characters because this character, he begins from a level where his ambition to get his friends, his rounds, to another level, you know, was like it's basically like anybody that's starting from the ground up, and a person that have a vision to see something and open his friends' eyes see, man, it's bigger, man. We could make some more things happen, man. This not nothing that we got going on right now. So let's make something happen. So he's probably my most favorite character. But not saying that I'm just gonna embrace him boldly, because all the other characters I like him too, because they present so much more of the book too.
Okay. So with that being said, is there any character in the book that you dislike?
Yeah, I mean, one of the characters, his name is Kinky D. He was a coward, and he rode people coattails. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably one of my least uh, like characters, but I mean, it was essential to make the plot thick in the book. So least and favorite at the same time, because like I said, without him, the twist wouldn't
When it came
as
up.
deep.
Yeah, and a lot of times people don't realize, like when you're writing books and you're picking characters, you may not always know how that character is gonna turn out.
Right, exactly. Like
Because
it
it turns,
changes.
they come alive in your head.
Right. It's not something like where you sit. Like, of course, you may have the ending in your head, but when you're writing a book, it's like you're creating a world. Like it's really not fairy tale. Like when I write, it's not fairy tale, because I'm gonna take all my experiences, everything that I've been through, and I'm gonna put it in this book. So it's real life. I'm creating a real live world, with real living characters.
So what made you decide to do three? Like how do you know that you're gonna have three? Like
3 books.
yeah.
Well, how do I know I'm gonna have three? Or because
Yeah,
they
like
all of them done.
oh they done oh that's how you know. Because
Yeah,
like
all
some
of them done.
people, so you already know the ending, because some people when they write their stories they don't know the ending, so you know, and it's three. So at the end of that third one, that's it.
Well, I also have an evolution series. Like, I didn't want to do the typical 4, 5, and 6. I want to have an evolution series of the book, because I feel like in life, everybody grows, or you either stagnate. So, within the evolution series after this series, it's gonna be like the characters have evolved to a higher level. Like they moving
Okay.
different. They still street, but they moving different. They moving smarter. I'm saying, so it's gonna be it's gonna be more intriguing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's on a whole nother level.
And it all started because they robbed the plug.
Yeah. But the basics of the streets, how I get, coming from the city like where we come from, is like it's dog eat dog. So I mean, you take the best opportunity. Not saying that it's right. I don't ever glorify nothing like that, but I mean it's reality. So, that's how most people gotta, get in the game. But like I said, with the series, it shows the evolution of these characters, how they grow. Some people stagnate, some people grow, some people, get smarter and move on, transition their game. And that's what makes the book so interesting. Like, it's gonna, like I say, I got a motto. Once you read my books, you in. Like it's no turning back.
Right. So the next series that you have, so you like turn into a full fledged author at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I got other books. I got urban love. I got self help. I got a lot of stuff. Like I got a lot of books. You know what I'm saying? So, and the world will see exactly, what angle and what direction I'm coming from. Because of course I had to give my roots.
Right.
That's why I want to begin with an urban tale, because that's my background, and I ain't running from that. I embrace my background, because that's what has made me who I am. So
Okay. All right. That's dope. So let me ask you, what school did you go to? What high
I
school
want
did you go to?
Aberson.
You went to Aberson. So if I find your teacher at Aberson, one of your English teachers, you think she gonna be like, is she gonna be surprised to see
Well,
what you have turned out to be?
a lot of people are gonna be shocked, because I mean, the individual I used to be a character myself. Like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, the transition that I made, it'll shock a lot of people, because, before I was just on some crazy impulsive, just do anything, think later type stuff. But now, I'm calculated. I calculate my steps. I think before I react. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a totally different person. I'm not who I used to be.
Right. And I think that's what probably makes your story stand out, because it's real, like it's true. So when they see you writing this story, they can, look at you and they can probably believe it. Like, no, this dude really know what he's talking about.
Right.
You
Like,
know?
it's no cap.
Yeah. How they say no cap, so it's definitely no cap.
No
Do
cap.
your friends or family ever ask you to put them in your stories?
Yeah, you always have those instances where, well, you got to make a character out of me. And, sometimes I appease people, if they fit. If you fit and I could put you in there, I do it. But other than that, man, the story comes, um, like I say, I like to create a real life experience. Like
Okay.
I want people when they read my book, I want like when they finish and it's like satisfaction, a feeling of satisfaction. Like I ain't just read a book and it was just entertainment. I want people to know that, I read this book, I was entertained, I learned something, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for some more. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's the angle I write from. That's why I call myself Gumbo, the
Okay.
book cook, because I try to give you every aspect, everything. I don't want to leave nothing unturned.
Okay. So, can you tell us a little about the book? What is the book about?
Well, the book is basically about three young guys from New Orleans that basically got tired of their situation. Like, and they was like, man, we got to do something better than this, man. It's not working, man. We got to, these little peanuts, these little crumbs we got going on. We got to do something better. So, of course, the book begins where they're in the neighborhood and they just all in their own thoughts. And that's how I like how that I started it, where they just off in their own thoughts. They're not talking. Like, I got a dialogue in their head telling them, how they feeling, and they just thinking to themselves, and then I bring it out to a point where they begin to talk when they see an opportunity present itself. Of course, it was a lick, and they execute on a lick and they get in the game. They never look back. And the best thing about the book is the solidarity in the book, the loyalty in the book, the love that they show. Like they rock together, man. They not letting nothing come between them, and it shows that even in the negative aspect of their life, they were successful because they stood on principles. You know what I'm saying? They stood on something, and they had a plan, and they set it in motion, and they took off. So it's a hell of a ride.
And that's interesting because that was actually one of my questions. So as I was reading the book, and like after the first scene happens, and they kind of get together, and he like, look, we gonna do this, and this how we gonna stay. And I just thought that was kind of big. That was like profound, because a lot of times, the new game this time, like these days, they don't really have loyalty like they did back when that book is taking place. So it's
Right,
like
right,
I appreciate that, because you brought back the game, like
right.
the book, the real
Exactly.
rules, how they say
And
the
it's
G code. They don't have that
exactly,
no more.
exactly. And that's one of my main things. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, man, it's just a lot of misguidance. Like I was misguided when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not here to like really disparage anybody. I'm here to, like I say, represent something that has been thrown to the side and not recognized anymore. So when I bring it to the light, I don't have to force it on nobody. My character go speak for itself, and it's going to influence who's going to influence. Whoever don't be influenced by it, and I wish them well. But whoever is influenced by it, you know, realness will never go. It'll never go out of style. If you real, if you solid, man, you're gonna be accepted on any platform, any part of this earth. So that's what I
That
want to bring back to the forefront.
that's true. So a little off topic, but we talking about like the city at this point. So looking back at old New Orleans, 93, 94, 95, when we was up top for the murder capital, and then we back at that again. Do you think back then was worse, or is it worse now?
Well, honestly, I had the chance to go back home not too long ago, right? And you know how a lot of people like, man, it's bad, it's bad. But what's crazy? It wasn't even. It was the same. We have a lot of senseless things going on. Um, but aside from that, a lot of people that don't understand the city or don't understand the streets, they'll take the crime and the violence and they'll think it's targeted toward like innocent people, but that'd be like street beefs. There'd be stuff going, and then the other things that be going on be like just young kids just doing stupid stuff. before just the the real violence and stuff, that's like inner city, like quarrels and beefs. So I mean, I feel like it's the same. It's not nothing. It's nothing changed. It's still, I mean, it's still the same.
And I'm glad you said that because a lot of people always say, like, how you live in New Orleans? It's so violent. But I'm like, you know what? I like to live here because even though we have a lot of crime, I feel like the crime is not really just any old body could get it. Like, I kind of feel like it's what it's the street kind of stay in the street for the most part. Now, every once in a while, somebody innocent get hit, but I'd rather live here than go live somewhere where they just busting the movies and shoot 30 and 40
Yeah,
people, and
exactly.
So,
Yeah, and then, like I say, man, it's nothing has changed, man. It's just like a lot. I think a lot of times the media, they try to use it to manipulate people's minds, and a lot of time we can't feed into that because we gotta live real life every day. We gotta open our eyes and see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that, you know how to react, you know how to think, you know how to formulate the right opinion and make the best decision for yourself. So,
okay. So speaking of the evolution and stuff that's going on in the city, once we get to the third book of the trilogy, will we start seeing that evolution in T Lee, or that gonna be for the next series?
it's gonna be for the next series, but like three, I got so much in two and three is man, it's mind blowing. It's like I got Katrina. I got some uncut footage that the world has never heard about. You know,
Mm,
um, with dealing with the storm Katrina, like I'm saying, it was like the media, they showed what they wanted to see, but I gave some actual scenes that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? Some raw cut scenes. Then I have some transitional points when how most people went to Houston, some people went to Atlanta. I got some scenes from them different cities. Like, I got so much in this book. It's like it's hard to realize that it's three books. You'll think it's like five, because of course the first book is 469 pages. So and all the other ones, they the same volume. So
that's
so
impressive. That's very impressive to have that many pages, and then you have three of those books. That's
yeah.
a lot going on in your head.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been through a lot. So
hmm
and I feel like the story got to be told. And like I want to be somebody out of my city that puts on from another angle. Like
mm.
I don't want to just come from the same angle. I want to put on from another angle, and I want people to know that, like, you got other talents, man. Look within yourself and find your own special talent, man. Because we all got them. We all got talent. Like I found my talent to write. Like you may be a fashion designer, you may be a CEO, you might be anything. Don't let the world tell you what you are. You find out who you are by going within your own self.
That's true. So when you're doing the characters, I know T Lee is your favorite, but do you see yourself in any of these characters?
Yeah, yeah. I see him. I basically see myself in mostly all of the characters that originally started the book. Because of course, if you from the city, we got the same traits. We all different, but we all the same. You know what I'm saying? We unique. That's what's beautiful about city of New Orleans, the people of New Orleans, and that's why I want to put on for my city in the book, because we always carry the stigma about us. They always saying this, they always saying that, but we're not like that. We really good people. Especially if we see the real in you, man. We go rock with you to I'm talking about to hell and back. So I just wanted to put that sense of realness back into the scene, man, with my people.
Okay. So are the other books released yet, or what's the schedule on those?
Well, book two, we're looking to release that by either the end of the year or the beginning of the year. And
Okay.
by I say by April next year, all three will be ready. We'll be
Okay.
ready to go with the whole series.
All right. So what's the word like from all your family and friends about the book? What are they saying?
Well, like everybody that touched the book, I've had good, like my mother-in-law, for instance, she didn't read it three times the same book. So and my baby always tell me she proud of me. But I've gotten some good opinions on it. Like I never got, oh well, it was okay. Or, you know how you get it when when your book I know it's mediocre. But I don't really like to talk how good it is. I want people to really read it, and when they read it, they're gonna see it. Like because, like I actually put my soul in the book. Like when a person put their soul, that's like in music. When they put their soul into something, people can't deny it. You can't deny it. And I also put the soul of the city. I put the whole soul of the city in it, a whole mixture. Put it in a pot.
All right, that's dope. So, what about the other books? So, just to touch up on the other books that you have, because I thought it was just this book, but to know that you have more, like I said, that's impressive, and it's real because we don't we have a lot of positive things going on from people in the city, but a lot of times it don't get the light that it needs because all the negative stuff is going out. So you have other books, and I know you kind of mentioned them briefly, but what's up with the other books?
Well, I got one book that my wife actually really likes. She really wants me to push it. It's called. It's kind of like it's kind of similar the title with Steve Harvey's book, right? It's called how they got to think. What it is? Think like
Think like a man or something.
act like a lady. But
Yeah, act like yeah.
mine is called Look Like a Thug, Think Like a King.
Mm.
So this book is so it's profound because I feel like when I wrote the book, it came from a place that wasn't me. Like I had to reach a whole nother plane, spiritual plane, when I wrote it because I got so much history, I got so much knowledge in this book that when people read it, it's like it's gonna open their mind to the point where like it's gonna make them want or thirst to learn their history, learn themselves, and be who they've been created to be on this earth and find their purpose. So this book here is profound. I got some memoirs I've written. I got another book called Get Your Shine On. This book here is like it's you talking about city, like when it comes to like the Indian culture, the second line culture. I got Get Your Shine On. It's that's gonna be a bestseller too.
Okay. So when you were writing the books and all of your books, actually, did you find that it was a difficult process?
Well, not really. I mean, when I sat down and I told myself I really wanted to write, I actually studied my craft. So once you study something and you study your lane, like it's not hard, especially when you got the talent for it. So once you learn how to structure something, once I learned how to structure my stories and properly build my characters, it was easy because I had already had the talent for it. So I just took off with it. Like I ain't stopped. Like I kept writing. I kept writing.
So yours is strictly talent. Was there like any training, like when you were in school? Did you do any of those little contests? You was in the writer club or nothing like that? The
Man,
drama team?
I never knew I was a writer. Like ever.
Wow,
Like I never. No, now that I think about it, I never even kind of brushed the surface with it. Like
really?
set out and like no ever.
So you just sat down one day and said, "I'm about to write a book," pretty much.
Well, I make. I'm gonna be all the way honest, right?
Mhm.
Because I told you, I've embraced everything about my life, and I just come home from prison.
Mhm.
I did 15 years. So when I was down there, I sat down there and I told myself that I didn't want that old life anymore. So I had to get my act. I had to find something else. I had to find something else, because I knew if I didn't, that would be my fate for the rest of my life. So I went down there and I actually did something. Like, and I wrote books. That's what I did. I wrote books. I fed my mind. I fed my spirit. I prepared for this day. That's right now. I'm home. Now it's time to execute.
That's what's
You
up.
know.
That's what's up. I have another guy on here. He wrote a book called Brick by Brick. He from DC. He did some time. He did 10 years actually, and his
Okay.
story is similar. And he said that he would just be writing and writing and writing, and
Right.
that's pretty much how he started his. And he has a awesome series too. And I'm like, this is nice. So
Yeah.
that's good, and like I say, your story is real. You can tell like from when you first read it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first open it, when like I started last night. When I
Yeah.
asked you about the book, I said, well, let me see if I can now look on Amazon. And I started reading. I said, oh wait, it's good. And I just kept turning and kept turning. And I was like, oh wait. I don't want to finish. And then I'm like, then I saw it was kind of big. I said, all right, I ain't gonna finish this tonight. Like I gotta bring them kids to school in the morning.
Right,
So
right, right.
it's good. So like, salute to you because, a lot of times, when you come home, a lot of people don't have that. So for you to be able to like change your life up like that, that's what's up.
Well, salute to you too, because it's not a lot of platforms that offer this kind of exposure. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why I want to become successful, because I want to do things like you're doing. I want to be able to, put people on and not
Right.
and have no strings attached. Like, I ain't looking for nothing. I just want you to shine in your own light. That's it.
Right.
So many people that's trying to charge you for everything. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I wholeheartedly salute you for this opportunity, to go over, my accomplishments and my aspirations, and keep on doing what you're doing. Keep
I
on doing what you're
appreciate
doing.
it. And look, it's weird because like, looking at me, you would never know, but I have a book, but it's like, it's a hood book. So people look at me and they be like, girl,
What?
yeah, and it's kind of nice. It's dope. So it's like,
It's published?
yeah, it's published. So
Oh,
I
I
have
gotta
two
get you
of them
got.
out right now. I'll send you the link. And
Yeah,
then
you
I read
got
it
to
on
do that.
YouTube. So you
Okay.
might want to do that too, because especially you got the New Orleans voice, people love it. So I put it
Okay.
on YouTube, and the same thing. You have a really good book. You got a really good product. You want people to hear about it. You want people to see it. And every
Okay.
time you ask somebody, oh, I'll put you on for 150. I'll put you on for 200. I'm like, so you know what?
Yeah.
I recorded it and I put it on YouTube. And when I put it on YouTube, I got like 20,000 hits on it.
Come on.
Yeah. So and
You
it's
got
like I
to
say, it's
send me that
real.
link. You got to
Yeah, I'm gonna
send me
send it
that
to you.
link. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I'm
Please
definitely.
do.
We
Like
gonna
you are real,
support each
like
other.
real streets. So you gotta, let me know what you think. But
Yeah, no, I got you, and the thing, I'm glad you said that, because I want to be able to collectively unite with other urban authors, man, and we get expos going. You know what I'm saying? Well, we could put each other on, and we could have events where we come and network, and we share resources. So I'm glad you told me that. So we gonna definitely link,
for sure,
most
we got
definitely.
one. Actually, they got this thing called LitCon. It's people I met actually doing podcasting, and they're gonna do a conference, and I got them to come to New Orleans. So they're gonna do it, I think, in June. So I'll let you know as well, so you
Let
can
me
set
know.
up
Let me know.
either June or July
I'm gonna
of
def
next year.
I'm gonna definitely come down there. I'm definitely
Okay,
set
yeah,
that in
for
my
sure.
calendar. Most definitely.
Please do, yeah.
Most
So,
definitely.
but back to the story. I did have another question I want to ask you. I got to remember what the question was, but I don't want to ask too much because I want the people to actually read it.
Okay.
But I had a question. I'm gonna think about it. But I do like that you explain everything. So like New Orleans is its own culture. We got our own everything. So a lot of times you read, people may be reading that may be from somewhere else and they may not understand it. But I'm telling y'all, he does a really good job of explaining what everything is. Like he'll say, "Oh, my rounds," or he was smoking a Joe or a Camel or something like with the pack. But you explain it so people can understand like
Right.
what's really happening. And
Right.
that's good because. And then what else I like about the story, what I like about urban stories, is a lot of times we see hood stuff and we just think it's all bad. Now a lot of times it may really be bad, but them people really have feelings and they have like real thoughts behind what they doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's you raise a valid, super valid point, because it's just an urban lifestyle, and we just had to deal with the hand that was dealt to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of times, we deal them hands, and we take them hands, and we flush it. Like we go all in. Like some of the greatest people that excel from the gutter. So what I'm saying? It's just like people that pass opinions on that type of stuff. I feel like that's just ignorance. Like, I'm saying, it's just ignorance.
Right.
You gotta ignore that. Like, what I'm saying. But even those, they curious about the culture and the flavor too. So
They
they
are.
want, yeah.
They definitely. But your book has characters and each character like they speak, so you kind of know what's going on in their mind. So you might see like on the surface they killing somebody and they robbing them, but when you really think about it, it was a real reason behind it. Now that's why when
Exact,
people say it's senseless killing, it might seem senseless, but like in their mind it was a
it
real big
was
plan that they had.
exactly. And a lot of time, man, I be talking to people, and a lot of the root to a lot of situations could be looked over, but once certain lines are crossed, like, what I'm saying, you got to, especially coming from that type of background, where we come from, like, you have to react on situations like that, because it's either you or them. And that's just, I'm not saying that it's cool, but I
Right.
mean, it's self-preservation at the end of the
Right.
day. So I mean,
Yep. It's survival, and that's really what it is, and it's been going on forever. But the culture now gets a bad rep for it. But it's been going on forever. It's always been survival. The
exactly. I
beginning.
mean, exactly. And like if you look at it from another angle, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like it's nobody that's without flaws. So can't nobody point no finger at nobody. When you start pointing your finger at the next person, you gotta look back at yourself and see, check your own flaw out.
That's
I
true.
mean, you know what I'm saying?
That is so true. So I wanted to let you know. I'm not sure if you even know how I found your book, but I saw you.
What you
I went to
do?
35 with him. He
And
posted
my
it.
little brother. That's my
Yeah, and
little
I was
brother, man.
like, I said, well, you know him? And he was like, yeah, that's my little partner or whatever. So that's what made me reach out to you. So I'm glad that I saw that. And I'm glad that you responded because, like I said, this real. And I do want more people to read it. And I have another platform that's really big, and I'm going to put it on that as well. And it's all about New Orleans. It's called Urban
Okay.
Nola. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it,
I'm gonna
but
look it up.
it's a site where I put out all like second lines and stuff. I'm a second line person,
Okay.
so
Oh yeah, of
so
course.
I'm putting it out there, and I want people to read it. So I got to ask you the question that I ask everybody else,
Okay.
and that question is, if you could go back in time and talk to 17-year-old Gumbo, and talk about like how life is about to be, especially experiencing what you've been through, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, man, get ready for a rough ride, man. But at the end of the day, it's all go count because everything that you go through is gonna be worth something. Like all the pain, everything, embrace it. Like don't run from it. You know what I'm saying, because you only have one life, and your experiences is your experiences. Can't nobody tell you, um, well, you need to be this way, because it's just my lane I gotta travel in. So just be prepared for all the bumps and the bruises, the scratches, the failures, because all those situations and all those occurrences is going to amount to success at the end.
That's real. That's real. Okay. So we're about to be closing up. So let me ask you one more question. What's your favorite thing about being from New Orleans?
My favorite thing about being from New Orleans is being unique. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being like one of a kind. Like that's what I love about my city. I love about my people, man. Like it's like we one of a kind people. Like I love being unique. I don't like being caught in the crowd and feeling like I'm just getting lost in the crowd. I love that uniqueness. I love our culture. I love everything about us. I love our realness. I love our. At the end of the day, people judge New Orleans for, how bad it is. But if you really know the people and you know how they rock it, man, there's no other people like it. So I
Right.
love the uniqueness. I love everything about us.
That's real. Okay, so let everybody know how they could keep up with you, how they could follow, support, how they could buy the book. Let them know.
Okay, you can buy the book on Rain, lowercase REIGN dash publication.com. You can also follow me on underscore Gumbo GUMBEAUX or at King Morocco on my Instagram.
All right, for sure. So do you have anything to talk to? I mean, tell a guest. I mean, no, you are the guest. To tell the listeners.
Just get ready for a ride, man. Like what I'm saying. I say it on my page all the time, and it's people say a lot, what they're gonna do. I think Drake said the best. He said, I hear everybody talking about what they're gonna do. I got high hopes for you. We gonna
We're
see.
going to see.
But like, I'm not just talking. So, when it start to really blaze and it start to be a part of it, because I got some special things for my supporters. I'm gonna have venues where it's gonna be special. I'm talking about exclusive previews of things, different merch that's gonna be given away. So, if you really rock with me, because I'm gonna show love to my readers and my supporters. That's who make me me. So rock with me. I got
All
you.
right. That's for sure. All right. So we come to the end of our Urban Read Spotlight. So I thank you all for staying with us. I hope y'all really enjoyed it because I did. Make sure y'all go pick up the books. Make sure y'all go follow Gumbo because I'm telling y'all that if that first book if the other books are as good as the first one, the beginning of it, I know y'all are really, really in for a treat. So thanks again. And remember, sometimes you can have the best book in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it's just going to be the best book on that shelf.
Most
So that's
definitely.
why we here to get the word out. So make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. And if the law say the same, I'll see y'all next week.
Peace.